Hey guys, Julie Saillant, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here back to the channel. I am your unicorn host and wanted to thank you so much for being here. This is for the nines and life path number 9. And I go strictly by numerology around here, which is based on your birthday, right? So we add up the day, the month, and the year that you're born, and we bring those numbers down to the lowest number possible. And you are life path 9. Thank you for being here. I am a shaman, I'm a seer, I'm a channeler. I help people find their gifts, use their gifts, and then find their soul purpose here on planet Earth, as well as being an animal communicator. And I help people really find their way. That's what I do in a nutshell. So I wanted to get with you guys because I had a couple of things that came up with some of my clients that I wanted to give you some information and enlightenment on. But first, I just wanted to say thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you so much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because when you do, it really helps the channel. We're growing. And leave a comment, because I always respond to your comments and I love reading them. So thank you so much for being here and for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Okay. So you guys, just for a quick recap, you are the humanitarians, right? You are the ones that genuinely love and care for other humans. You're very compassionate, you're down to earth, you're very musical, you're generous, you're loving, you're just incredibly passionate people. And, you really are here to help everyone do better, right? You desire to see change in the world for the better and bring a spiritual light into the world, without asking for anything in return. That's who you are at your core. You are amazing beings. Some of the different places where you might do really well would be nonprofits or doctors, nurses, fundraising, anywhere, or singers, right? Anywhere where there's you giving back. And I am an 11, right? So I'm a master life path 11, but we do share some of the same similarities. And that some of your shadow lies in you having very high expectations for yourself and for other people. And when those expectations aren't met for yourself or for others, it can be devastating for both of you, because you will expect it, but the other person might not even realize that you have placed these high expectations on them or put them up on a pedestal. And then you kind of come down on them a little bit hard, and they're like, what's going on, right? I didn't even sign up for this. So that's a shadow side that you all have to work on. And also in the way that you're a little bit overly idealistic, when you hold on to the past. Okay. So that would mean that, you kind of want something to go a certain way. And if it doesn't go a certain way, you get really unhappy about it. And that's 11s are similar to that. We have high expectations, almost to the point of where they hurt us. So if I could give any of you any advice for yourself, it would be to lower your expectations. And I don't mean throw them out the window and don't have any, because I'm not that person, right? I'm the person who sets a goal, reaches it, sets another goal. And I believe in that. But what I am saying is that for us, or for those that we're working with, we can have such high expectations that they turn into immovable mountains that nobody can climb. And that's when things get difficult, because that's when you're expecting like a miracle and the person can't give it to you, or you can't give it to yourself. And the easy way to say that is to just be kinder to yourself, right? It's really important that you're kind to yourself. But what I wanted to talk about today was something different. I wanted to go a little bit deeper with you, and I usually go pretty deep with the master life path numbers. And I thought, though, that you guys are so similar to us 11s that I wanted to give you this information. A lot of you have been asking me about it, so I do want to talk about it. Basically, if you look at the timeline of where we are right now, we've come through over a year and a half of a pandemic globally, all over the world, no matter where you are, right? And this pandemic has helped people change for the better and for the worst, right? It's been an opportunity for some, and for some, not so much. Okay. But what it's done is it's really allowed us to look at where we are in our lives. And the result of that is that many of us have not been happy with where we are. That's what's come out of it. So you could look at your family life, you could look at your professional life, or your spiritual life, or your energetic or physical body, and think, I'm not where I need to be. In fact, I don't really understand this, because For a long time professionally, I was doing this, and now I don't feel it anymore. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like all of a sudden, it's not working for me. Or I've been with this person for a really long time, and all of a sudden, it's not working for me. Why is that? Why are we like this? Why are we like ships in the night? And that's because you have ascended and changed, or you're going through transforming and changing. And that's a huge deal, huge deal. Now, this is normal, right? I mean, you should be changing, you should be transforming. But what happens is if the people around you are not changing, that's when it gets hard because you're growing and transforming and your soul is evolving, but the people around you are not. So you're changing and growing and they're still back down here. You're here, they're here, right? So there are, on top of that, there are things that are going on in this world that I did want to share with you. And some of you will get this and some of you won't. And it's okay if you don't. And it's okay if you don't believe me, because I'm not here to make you believe me or push an agenda or anything like that. There's no judgment. But I do want to let you know that because you folks are so humanitarian, so empathic, so compassionate, you know, a lot of you are empaths like I am. And the High Council has really sent out an awakening to every empath, starseed, Palladian out there, right? For the starseeds, there's 144,000 of us on planet Earth. There are many others who are called to help us, and we are the ones that are here to hold the line for planet Earth, right? This means that in one of my visions, I saw us all standing in line, shoulder to shoulder with each other. And I would help you and you would help me. And all of our strengths will be combined against any forces that are come against our planet. The people that are not as spiritually advanced as we are will be behind us. Okay. So we'll be in the front. So that's why you may have been feeling lately like, I got to get in shape. I got to get my life set. I've got to get you might feel an overwhelming, like, I need to fix this, or I need to not ignore this anymore. And I had kind of gone through that last year where it's like, I really got to get in shape physically. And then it's like, I really got to clean up my spirituality and you really need to get my rituals going. I really need to get my team going. I really need to connect more. I need to claim my power more. What are my gifts? I need to figure those gifts out and start using them and start wielding them because that's what you're here for. And that's what your soul signed up to do. Now, this is going to happen, and I don't know when, no one does. But that's why I always say in every video, I always say, can you guys please, please, please start working on this because I can't do this by myself. And every one of you who's empathic and who's a starseed is awakening or has awakened, is on their way to transforming and ascending, and has protection. Okay, I have heavy protection around me. In fact, somebody had said they've never seen so much protection around me because I have a really strong calling in my life to really bring all of the light workers together. That's part of what I'm supposed to do here on planet Earth, right? So I wanted to go over this with you. Now, for some of you, this may feel like brand new information. For some of you, this may feel like, I don't know, it sounds really far out, Julie. And for some of you, it might be like, whatever, who cares? I'm just going to keep on moving with my life. And that's your choice. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. But I will tell you that this is going to happen at some point. I've had visions about it. And that is why it is so important for all of us to really ramp up now. And that's what this whole pandemic was about, to give you time to restart and change it up, right? So how do we do that? How do we change it up? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to know what your gifts are, right? If you don't know what your gifts are, get with me or someone like me that you resonate with that can help you figure out and understand your gifts and then start working with them. Because figuring out what your gifts are and working with them is two different animals. It's kind of like me saying, okay, do you want the Lamborghini or do you want the Honda? And you say the Lamborghini. I'm like, okay, now you have the Lamborghini. That's your gift. Now, do you know how to drive it? And you're like, no. And I'm like, okay, that's how you wield your gifts, right? That's how you use your gifts. It's two separate things, right? But you need to accomplish both to have them, to work with them. Now, let me just say that if you decide that this is not the right time, or you're not interested, or you're too scared, that's okay. You have free will. and you can push your gifts aside. And I did this for many, many years, but I will tell you that your gifts will never go away because it's your birthright, right? It's your birthright. And you really need to know that they'll never go away and they're always going to be there for you. So why not use them now while you still have, the wherewithal to kind of work with them? That's what I say. And, you're the only one that can wield them. I can't do it for you. I can show you how, but they're yours to wield. So it's all about understanding where you are in this process, understanding what your gifts are, and then understanding how you want to move forward in the world. To help you along, I got a bunch of cards flew out, and the first one says the Milky Way and its perspective. So your perspective changes everything, like everything. Your perspective on life makes you who you are. But what I try to do is offer people another perspective and a different road to take, because sometimes you'll convince yourself that you're not ready and you really are. I said I wasn't ready for decades, and I was afraid of my gifts because I didn't know how to use them and I couldn't figure it out, and I was scared. I was really scared. And that could be you right now. You could be sitting there going, I'm really scared of what I think I can do. And all I can say is that your gifts were given to you from spirit, right? It's not an accident. That means that you have the power to use them for good, right? It's all about to help each other and help the planet. And just know that your perspective can change lives. What you do and how you use your gifts can change lives. Big time. I've got the whale, and this is breach. And if you really look at this whale's coming way out and exposing itself, right? And that's kind of what you need to do. There are deep waters that a lot of you need to go through, and they're in your mind. And a lot of you are so scared of what you're going to find, but you might be surprised because you might find something really awesome in there instead. It's kind of like when I face my shadow self and I put my shadow in a box for my entire life. Like, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to talk to you. You're bad, right? But what I didn't understand was my shadow self has felt every single thought or feeling that I've ever had. And my shadow self has protected me and stood in front of me every time I was scared. And my shadow self was 50% of me. So without integrating your shadow self, you're only operating 50% right now. So I basically unlocked my shadow self, and she was pissed. She was like, girl, you kept me in a box a really freaking long time. I should freaking decimate you. And I'm like, I know. She's like, but I can't because you're me. And I'm like, what? And she's like, every single thought you've had, every experience you've had, I've had the same thing. The difference is I stood in front of you when you were attacked so that you could hide. And I took the hit for you. And I was like, oh, holy shit. I'd never realized that. And then I felt bad. Your shadow self is half of you. A lot of you are going to have to go deep and expose yourself in ways that you haven't before to access your gifts. And every new level that you have requires something different from you. It requires something more from you. It could be money. It could be exposing yourself. It could be showing your gifts, whatever that is. But don't worry. That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. You got the Shaman, Ancient Healing Wisdom. I love this card. I love it. There's some Native American in me. Shamans get that way and revered because they've gone deep on their gifts and they know what they can do. And people come to them far and wide for the advice that they give them and the healing that they can offer them. And what they place on their lives is precious. There's no amount of money or no currency for it. There are many of you that are nines that are shamans, but you deny it. Why? You're afraid. Why? You think you get out of control? You won't. The gifts that you've been given are only given to you by spirit for a certain reason. There's ancient healing wisdom also within you that you need to tap into. And if you don't know how to do that, I said, let me know, or somebody that you resonate with. They're saying that you already have everything that you need within you, but you need to reach for it. You need to reach for it. Full moon completion, right? After you gain the wisdom, then you'll have completion. Wow, these cards are amazing. Holy cow. And then you've got island solitude. Many of you, like the 11s, like the 22s, like the 33s, we are the ones that are empathic. We are compassionate. We are feeling. You can hurt us really easily. We may have a harder exterior, but that's only because our interior is soft as mushy, right? Take time for yourself and have solitude so that you can chill out as you learn about yourself and your gifts. And this whole thing that was thrown at me right now, if you think about it, it's all a complete system, right? Think about it. Perspective, like a new perspective, right? You're going to expose yourself, right? That brings you to the ancient shaman, ancient healing that gives you wisdom when you expose yourself, when you go deep, which offers you completion, and you need solitude to just regroup. It's a whole, this is what happened for the 11s too. The way they came out was like this whole from beginning to end. We really need each other, and we really need to understand what our gifts are. And if you don't know what your gifts are, or you do know, but you don't know how to use them, and you want to find out your soul's mission, it's your purpose to find out what it is. That's what you're here for, right? That's what your soul agreed to. And that's what you need to do. Because there's going to come a time when you're going to need to step up and you're going to have to protect others. Now, you don't have to, but chances are, being a 9, you're going to want to, because that's kind of in your DNA. 9s don't really fall down very much as 11s do. They don't back down. They're like, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Somebody's got to do it. I'll do it. Because the people behind you are on their spiritual journey, but they're in a much less place than you are. They haven't even scratched the surface. If you're at a 50 or 60 out of 100, they're at a 10. And there's people like that. And they frustrate the hell out of us. I'm going to tell you that. But we're here to help others, and we're here to shine our light and heal the planet and heal others around us. All right, guys, so I hope this helped you. I wanted to get this out to you today. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know in the comments. I read every single one and respond, and I will see you soon on the next video. Thanks.